Hello there, Tom here, and we're getting ready for our main set of our cardiac home training exercises. So I'm going to give you 6 exercises. Each exercise is going to be done over a 2-minute period. Firstly, you could look at working for 90 seconds and then a 30-second transition period, which will give you some recovery. Remember, keep your heels lifting all the time so your feet are moving to it in a little march, even when we're getting ready for our next set. If you feel more confident and that you kept your conditioning up, you could work for 1 minute 45 seconds, give yourself 15 seconds recovery. And if you're happy just to go straight through, work for the full 2 minutes and then move on to the next one. So let's have a look at our exercises. Start your timer, whether it's an egg timer. I personally use one I've downloaded off the internet called a Tabata timer. Exercise 1 is a step up, getting the forefoot onto the step. If you'd rather not step up, do a high knee march instead. Make sure you change over legs part way. I've now moved on to my left leg, so I'm not just using my dominant leg. If you feel unsteady, you could always use a banister or a wall to hold on to. When waiting between exercises, make sure that you keep a little march, helping the blood return to the heart. Also, keep an eye on your breathing and your work rate. Remember, it needs to be light to moderate exercise. Exercise 2 is going to be a bicep curl with a heel dig. I'm using tins here, tins of tomatoes. You could use water. If you've got dumbbells, use them. Or alternatively, if you'd rather not use any weights, just do the exercise without weights. I'm looking for that full range of motion, but a little bend in my elbows at the bottom, keeping my elbows pretty well level with my floating rib all the time. Here is another option, which is a single arm. So if you are feeling a little deconditioned, use a single arm. Or alternatively, sit on the front of the chair and you can do the single arm seated. Getting ready for our next exercise. Having a little march in between, helping the blood return to the heart. So exercise 3 is going to be a sit to stand, making sure I'm on the front third of that chair, heels behind knees. Option 1, I can push up through the chair. Step back to feel the back of the chair with my back and my legs. Sit down, shuffle forward to the front again. Option 2, I can put my hands onto my knees. Stand, step back and seated. Shuffling forward. Option 3, if you're feeling more advanced, bring your hands out in front of you. I'd also opt for putting my chair right back against the wall so it can't go anywhere. We'll see this side on now. Powering up. Nose over toes and powering up. Alternatively, we can look at other exercises such as a seated one, we should be coming up now, where we're going to clap in front, clap underneath. Hinging at the hip, keep the chest lifted so we try not to round the shoulders. Another alternative is to stand behind the chair and do a little knee bend or shallow squat behind the chair like we did in the warm-up. Back to a march as we get ready for the next exercise. Heels lifting, ready for the next exercise. We're going to reclaim our tins now. We did a bicep curl, so now we want to work the other side of the arm on a tricep kick back. So elbows are pretty well stay in the same place as well as shoulders. So it's all the bottom, only the bottom part of the arm is swinging really. We're looking to isolate the triceps here and tapping back at the same time. If you're not feeling so conditioned, you can always do this as a single arm or even hold a chair. Don't worry about the weights. There we go. Look at the confusion on his face. I've got it now. Trying to work that out. Lovely stuff. I know some of the gents up at Haverley like to do a dip, so I have included a dip. I would comment that if you're not used to doing this, then probably avoid it, okay? So, hands on the front third of the chair, look in that range to almost come in line, elbow to shoulder, or as far as you're allowed to take it. My feet are planted.
I'm going to do 5 repetitions, and then I'm going to have a little heel lift for 5 and come back into it. Feet closer to the chair makes this exercise easier, feet further away makes it harder. Okay, so there you have that one. Getting ready for the next exercise, which is going to be a wall press. Hands planted on the wall, flat, level with shoulders, just slightly wider than your actual shoulders themselves. So you can come in, little pause, slow out. Feet further away to make it harder, feet closer to make it easier. Like so. Slow controlled exercise, 5 repetitions, followed by a little march for 5, and then you're going to come back into it again. I've purposely made this circuit quite low intensity, but selected exercises that are going to work muscles that can quickly become deconditioned through lack of use. If injury prevents you from doing a wall press, I've put in a half moon instead. Opposite arm to opposite leg, bringing up the hand approximately as high as shoulder height. So a little march in between our exercises, getting ready for our next one, which is going to be a calf raise. Initially I'm going to put my hands against the wall, feet at hip distance, hips level with shoulders, so I want to go straight up, pushing through the big toes, keeping the heel in line with knee, knee in line with hip. Slow control, little pause at the top, slowly down. 5 repetitions and then a little march for 5. If you're feeling confident with this one, you might choose not to hold on to the wall and to go straight up instead. If you're doing this circuit twice through, on your second set, I'd recommend avoiding the calf raises. Instead, go for 5 small knee bends or 5 shallow squats behind a chair with a march for 5.
Okay, so there we have it. 12 minutes work. If you're not feeling so conditioned, and in fact I'd suggest if you haven't been exercising much at all, do 1 circuit of that the first time, go into the cool down. After you've done that a couple of times, you're not aching too much, you're feeling okay, you could always, the next week, say you did this once a week, come back to it, okay, and then do it twice through, giving you 24 minutes work. So they're your options, either 1 set or 2 sets. Remember, anything that causes you pain or exasperates an injury, don't do it, find an alternative. I've tried to give you as many alternatives as I can in there. Hope you enjoy it. Thanks.